Hi everyone, it's meteorologist Doug EM here, and we are going to be taking a look at your forecast to start off the new week. It is going to be a really hot week overall, and mid to late week will feature extreme heat. Temperatures that we may see once every decade or so, with several consecutive days with temperatures around or in excess of 100 degrees. So the National Weather Service has hoisted an extreme heat watch from Wednesday afternoon through Saturday for the entire state, where we are expecting high temperatures around 100 degrees from Wednesday through Saturday. Thursday and Friday present the best chance for widespread 100-degree temperatures. Heat index values could be as high as 110 degrees, and if you live in the urban corridor, most nights you will probably not drop below 80 degrees during the peak of this. And so it is important to keep in mind the heat safety tips. You want to limit strenuous activity outdoors, seek air conditioning at all costs, really, because even well-ventilated rooms this week will not allow the body to cool off with fans. You really just need air conditioning when you talk about several consecutive days of highs around 100 degrees. Certainly check on the sick, the elderly, and your neighbors during this extreme heat, and never leave pets or little kids unattended in vehicles. I want to show you what is responsible for this extreme heat, and that is this heat dome. And the jet stream lifts north, allows this intense heat to build, and this week we may have two high pressure systems ultimately, a Bermuda high, but that big high, that big ridge responsible for this heat dome will be meandering around Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and with that jet stream to our north, that is a storm track that will serve as a track for convective complexes, and it's hard to determine when those will exactly drop down from the north and how close they will get to New Jersey, but we do think there are some chances for them around the Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe, and again Friday into Saturday. So we'll be watching that. But outside of those convective complexes, we're really not expecting any sort of relief from the heat. And I want to show you here the computer model data. This really gives you an idea of just how hot it is going to get around the area. This is, we're looking at Tuesday now, and you can see that temperatures will get to around 91, 92 along the urban corridor. And then as we go into Wednesday, watch this. Temperatures around 100 degrees in the Philly metro, mid to upper 90s in the north, and mid to upper 90s in most of South Jersey away from the coast. And then as we go to Thursday, here we are, 8 o'clock in the morning, and Trenton is 85. Philadelphia is modeled to be 86 degrees. And watch what happens. By Thursday afternoon, this particular computer model, which is in line with a lot of our computer models, is showing widespread 100-degree temperatures from New York City all the way down into Vineland. That is very extreme heat, and you can see we could even flirt with 103. And then here is 8 o'clock at night. It is still in the mid and upper 90s in the Trenton and Philadelphia urban corridor, and also in the New York City area. Here's 11 p.m. We're still meandering around 90 degrees in New York and Philadelphia. 2 a.m. early Friday morning, it's 87 in Philadelphia, 86 in New York City. 5 a.m. it may get down to around 83, 84 in the city area. And then here we go again. Watch this. 103, 105 the computer model wants to throw out. And even if this is overdone, we're probably talking about 100 to 102. Right now I'm forecasting 102 degrees for both Thursday and Friday. And here we go into Friday night. Maybe Friday night temperatures drop below 80 in New York City and Philadelphia. But watch what happens Saturday. Away from New York City, most of the state, south and west of New York City, still around 100 degrees. And then we get some storms later Saturday. It cools off for a time. And then Sunday, we're right back up into the 90s, especially again south and west of New York City. So this is going to be a really hot stretch of weather that will be impacting us for quite some time. So you definitely want, again, to check on your neighbors and the sick and the vulnerable populations and limit your time outdoors. This is really going to be one of the worst heat waves we've seen, I think, since at least 2011 and 2012. Both of those years were very hot years. So let's put back up the 7-day forecast to give you a sense of what we are thinking here. So for Monday, we're going to be flirting with 90 degrees, especially away from New York City. Tuesday, lower 90s, again, especially south and west of New York City. Wednesday, upper 90s, around 100. Really, a degree doesn't make much of a difference. Just know it's going to be hot, the same impact. And then Thursday and Friday, that's when we think we will, in fact, exceed 100 degrees and at least get to 102. And then for 4th of July, 99 degrees is what we're forecasting. Some areas south and west of New York City could easily get to the century mark again on Saturday. And Saturday is of concern because there's a lot of outdoor activities planned. Also, what's interesting is both Thursday and Friday, there could be a little mixing of the air that goes on in the afternoon hours and drops the dew point just a little bit. But Saturday is looking like a very humid day, so it may actually feel worse Saturday than it does on Friday, despite the air temperature maybe being a couple degrees cooler. And then, of course, Sunday again, 95 degrees. The best chances of thunderstorms, as I see it right now, is later Tuesday and again on Saturday and Sunday. But we can't rule out an air mass thunderstorm on any of these days, and we're going to have to watch what goes on to our north with, again, that jet stream and ring of fire. And let me just show you one other thing. We'll go back to the computer model, if I can here, and we'll take a look at the I want to go to the HER model and just show you on the HER model, if we can pull that up, and we will go to precipitation. Now here is the latest run. You can see some isolated stuff on Monday may occur. So a downpour at any time is possible on Monday. Tuesday, we start the day on Tuesday in the clear. But if we could go to the latest run, watch what happens here. You can see later Tuesday, this what we call a mesoscale convective complex on this run wants to drop down into northern and central New Jersey before dissipating. So if that happens, that can have an effect on the high temperature for Tuesday, but we would get that out of the way, and then it would still be stifling once we get into Wednesday. But that's interesting. Now, the HER model is the only model right now that shows that happening. The NAM 3-kilometer model is dry for much of Tuesday, so we will continue to keep an eye on the chance for showers and thunderstorms in a mesoscale convective complex once we get later into this new week. But it's going to be a difficult week. Vulnerable populations for sure, but even for the most healthy populations, when you get temperatures this hot, it is going to do a number on you if you do not limit your exposure to the heat. I'm meteorologist Dougie M. Stay cool out there.